Cheers! Hello, super excited to welcome you to a new episode of Hospitality Secrets podcast. Your host Paul Sfârlea here, and welcome to the daily story. In today's episode, we're gonna talk a little bit about ego and more likely about hospitality industry ego. I'll tell you a nice story from my life about me and my ego. See you after the intro. So the big question is this: how can we, the hospitality industry, present or future entrepreneurs, offer memorable hospitality experiences to our guests in a way that our staff is happy and the business is profitable and sustainable? This is the question, and this podcast will try to give you the answer. My name is Paul Sfârlea, and welcome to Hospitality Secrets. Welcome back to the daily story. I would like to tell you a quick story, today's story about the ego from the hospitality industry, and I would like to tell you about me when I started bartending a few years ago. I kind of like it. I had no ego in this industry. I was super open to every single advice that I would get. I would ask everybody. I would look to all the elderly bartenders. I would look with a lot of respect, and I would listen to everything they would tell me, because I was at the beginning, I didn't knew anything. And I enjoyed this industry. From the first time I entered into the bar, I knew that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, hospitality industry. So I enjoyed very much the whole industry, and I wanted to learn, and I learned. I asked everybody. I was like a sponge, asking questions, tons of questions, like a 5 years child, asking a lot of questions. Why you do this, why you do that, why this drink is called mojito, why this drink is called Cuba Libre, how do you make these drinks, and everything. So this was right at the beginning, and I enjoyed this industry so much. I told you in a previous episode that I quit college when I discovered the hospitality industry, because I liked it. And I wanted to be better. Actually, I wanted to be the best. I wanted to have an impact in this industry. I had the desire to be the best in the industry, to be the best, maybe be the best in the world, because I knew that if I can be the best in this industry, for sure all my money problems will be gone. Because as I told you, I wasn't raised in a rich family. I had money struggles all my life, so I wanted to have more money that I had. So I thought that if I can be the best, for sure all my money problems will disappear. So I started, even before starting bartending, I was a flair tender. I started throwing bottles. I enjoyed flair. I said, this is the thing. I like making show. I like throwing bottles. People would look at me and they would appreciate me and what I am doing. Then after being a flair tender, I transformed slowly in the dance tender. I was working into a club and I really enjoyed dancing. So at some point, guests were complaining that I'm dancing too much and I forgot to serve. So this was my part of dance tender. It didn't work. It wasn't so effective. Then I started learning coffee. I was a barista or a coffee tender. I liked drinking coffee, so I learned how to make good coffee. But then I felt that this wasn't the calling for me. I tried. I was an event tender. I went to events, to weddings. I tried to have an impact there. This wasn't for me. Then I became the mixology tender or competition tender, like participating in cocktail competitions. That was a big calling for me, and that was like a big switch in my career when I started participating in cocktail competition. That was the moment, the call actually, when this industry called me. That was the moment when my confidence started growing after participating in first cocktail competition. My confidence and my ego in the industry started growing because I started getting some recognition. People started recognizing me as participating to the cocktail competition, and my ego started growing. First, I participated in the Kuiper Cup, which was a national competition. I registered, and luckily I was the third place. This was the competition that actually changed me, because I was so happy because I was the third place in the country at this competition. That this competition was at the seaside. And after they announced me being the third place, I went at the beach and I started crying of happiness. I was so happy. I was talking with my mother at the phone, and I told her, "Mom, I am so happy that I feel like crying." And he said, my mother, "Paul, cry." And I started crying on the beach because I was so happy. I was third place. And my ego in this industry started growing. My false confidence in this industry started growing. Then I went to the second cocktail competition, to Monin Cup in Romania. And I was very lucky. And I won that competition. I won the national finals in Monin. And this was like a huge bump for my hospitality ego. I was very confident now because I'm a national winner for this competition. I went to France. I represented Romania my first global final. I represented Romania in France at the Monin Global Cocktail Cup competition. I was 12th on the 12th place. I was not happy at all with that place, but I started representing my country to a global finals. So my ego started growing. I started knowing more, but my ego was bigger and bigger. I wanted more. I wanted to be better. I wanted me, Paul Sfârlea, to be the best. If I'm the best, no more money problem. So after France, Monin Cocktail Cup, I've been to IBA, to the global finals in Sofia in Bulgaria. I took the 6th place. This was my second global competition, which was massive. After this, I wanted even more. I wasn't satisfied. I wanted more. I wanted all. I went to World Class. I participated to World Class, and I managed to win World Class national finals in Romania. I was the first place with a lot of luck and a lot of coincidences, in a way that I would win, even though the participants that participated with me were much better and more experimented than me. But I won, and I managed to represent Romania in South Africa, Cape Town, to World Class Global Finals. And I've been 13th place in the Global Finals, but that wasn't enough. I wanted more. That was the moment when I realized that I want to be the best bartender into the world. I said that if I won Global Finals in World Class, that's the highest achievement that I could have, and I would be happy. And that's the moment when that was the horizon that I was running for, being the best bartender into the world. I started training, I started practicing. Then one more competition, I've been to IBA again next year in Tokyo, Japan. There I took the 2nd place to my group of dessert drinks, which was very nice, being 2nd at the global competition, but it wasn't enough. I wanted more, and I wanted more, and I wanted to be the best bartender into the world. This was my ego crying for accomplishment, for people to recognize me, for recognition. So I wanted more and more. I wasn't happy. That was the period. Even though I participated to many cocktail competition, I was not happy. Actually, I was very anxious all the time. I was almost depressed. Me practicing and training a lot for being the best bartender into the world, for achieving what my ego thought that would be the end, and everything, all the problems would be solved if I'm the best bartender into the world. If me, Paul Sfârlea, would be like a superstar, a legend, being the best bartender into the world. So I was always training, always thinking only about how can I be the best bartender into the world? How can I be the best bartender into the world? How can I be better than everybody else? So that was like a dark period for me because I was not happy. I was just running after the horizon. I was almost depressed. I was addicted to many substances, to alcohol, to drugs. I was in that period, to calm my anxiety, I was addicted. So I had to take the substances in order to calm my anxiety. I was not happy at all. I was almost depressed, but my ego, my outside image was looking very good. People started giving me recognition because I was the best bartender in Romania. So this was a dark period of my life until 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, my son Dominic was born, and that was like a big. He is my mentor. He is my big guru in life. That was the moment when I realized that it's not about me anymore. I was so selfish before. It was just about me. But now when he came, I realized it's not about me anymore, because just me following my ego desires and growing my ego was not bringing me happiness at all. It was just bringing me depression, anxiety, and loneliness. I was not happy. So when my baby Dominic came, that was the moment when I discovered the Dunning-Kruger effect. Just Google it. It's an interesting concept. That it says that when you start in any industry, at the beginning, when you start getting some knowledge, your confidence and your ego is going up to the floor, to the roof. So the ego is bigger right at the beginning, when you start a job, when you start competing. So your ego and false confidence is very high. But slowly, when time passes and you gather more experience and you know more things, your confidence and your ego starts going down, because you start realizing that you are not so good as you were thinking about, because you still have a lot of things to discover, and your confidence and your ego slowly starts going down. But after time passes and you gather more knowledge, you have more experience, confidence started going up, but the ego is not going up together with the confidence. So you start remaining humble. So this was the strategy, the framework that I realized. The number one priority since Dominic came, and I realized that this is the thing that it need to happen for me to have success in an industry and to be happy in hospitality industry, not just to be the best and depressed and anxious. I wanted just to be happy and fulfilled in the hospitality industry. So the number one thing was to stay humble. Stay foolish, stay humble. As Steve Jobs said, stay foolish, stay hungry. I would say stay humble. Try to move your ego from I to we. I realized that it's not about me, Paul Sfârlea. That's the moment when I started Brigada. It's not about me. It's about me and my associate Biro and the comrades that are coming in the team. The gates are open. It's not about me anymore. It's about we now. I moved my ego from just me. I made it more inclusive. Try making your ego more inclusive. It's not about you only. It's about your bar, the bar you are working. It's about your whole industry. My ego now is about the whole industry, hospitality industry. If I can grow the hospitality industry, I'm happy. If I am growing in this industry, I am happy. What's the most important thing, and I think it's one of the taglines that marked me, and it's one of the sentences that we stand for as Brigada, is we are Brigada, we are here to serve. When you realize that in the hospitality industry, we are here to serve, there's a big switch in mentality. I'm not here to be the best. I'm not here to be a superstar. I'm not here to be better than you. I'm here to serve. When I was working into the bar, I was serving guests. Now I'm not working into the bar anymore. Now I'm serving hospitality industry present or future entrepreneurs, but I'm still serving. I was called to serve. And I think that hospitality industry is a calling. When you realize that you are called to serve, that's the moment when your ego starts becoming more inclusive and starts going down and starts switching from I to we. We are here to serve. And another thing that it's very important in staying humble, it's realize it's not about you, it's about them. It's not about you being the best, it's about your guests having an amazing, memorable experience together with you. So it's not just you. Don't try to be a superstar. Don't try to be the big guru, the big mentor in your own head. Let that words, sentences be in the heads of the others, but in your head, think about it. It's not about me, it's about them. So that's the framework and the ideas that I realized from my ego growing together with the achievements in the cocktail competitions, until my son came and I realized that my ego transferred from I to me, and I was so selfish before, and I stopped. That was the moment when I stopped going to cocktail competitions. When I realized that it's not about me, it's about we, and my ego became more inclusive, and that my role here is to serve, and that is not about me, it's about them, I stopped going to cocktail competition to enhance my ego even bigger. So I started helping. I started thinking about how can I serve the hospitality industry, present or future entrepreneurs. How can I make it about them, not about me? How can I transfer from I to we? Since I started switching I switched my mentality. I'm telling you with my hand on my heart, I'm much happier, I'm much fulfilled. I love my life. I'm not anxious anymore. I'm not depressed anymore. I absolutely love every single second of what I'm doing. So these were my ego problems, which I hope it helps for any person in the industry who's having or will have or had some ego problems. Go to Google and Google Dunning-Kruger effect to see what's about, and to see that the more experienced you are in the hospitality industry, the lower it's your ego. And when you become an expert and you have a big experience in the hospitality industry, your confidence is going up, but your ego remain inclusive, and you realize that you are here to serve. I hope it helps. Paul here. See you tomorrow to a new story. Cheers!